Hello everyone, welcome to my channel, The Lunchbox. Today's recipe is cinnamon apple cake. Easy, very few ingredients, simple recipe, delicious to taste. Enough of description, let's get baking. To make this recipe, you will need 1 cup of apple pieces. You can really use any ripe apple, core it, peel it, and then cut it into small pieces. So 1 large ripe apple will do. 3/4 cup vegetable oil, half a cup yogurt, 3/4 cups sugar, 2 large eggs, 1 teaspoon of vanilla essence, half a teaspoon baking soda, 2 teaspoons baking powder, 1.5 cups of all-purpose flour. Next, to make the cinnamon topping, you will need 1/4 cup of sugar, 1 teaspoon of powdered cinnamon, 1 tablespoon of melted butter, and for the drizzle we will need 1/4 cup of powdered sugar and 2 tablespoons of milk. We will begin by mixing the dry ingredients together. So we have the all-purpose flour. To this we're going to add our 3/4 cups of sugar, half a teaspoon baking soda, 2 teaspoon baking powder, and our cup of cut apple pieces. And we're just going to mix it together. We don't have to overmix, just light mixing so that they all combine properly. Once the dry ingredients are mixed, we will proceed to mixing the wet ingredients. To mix the wet ingredients, we're going to take the 2 eggs, crack them in a bowl. To this we're going to add our oil, 3/4 cups of oil, 1 teaspoon of vanilla essence, and our half a cup of yogurt. And we're going to mix this. Once the wet ingredients are well mixed, we're going to add this to our dry ingredients. Go ahead and pour the wet ingredients into the bowl of dry ingredients. Now, normally I would ask you to mix it properly, but for this recipe, just mix it a little. You don't want to over mix it. That's the trick for this cake to turn out nice and moist. So mix it just the right amount, do not over mix. Once the ingredients are mixed, we're going to transfer this to our baking bowl. I have a baking dish over here that I've lined with parchment paper. I'll transfer my ingredients to this bowl. Once the mixture is poured into the baking dish, it's now time to go ahead and make our cinnamon topping. To make the cinnamon crumble or the cinnamon topping, we're going to take our 1/4 cup of sugar, add our 1 teaspoon of cinnamon powder, and the 1 tablespoon of melted butter. And we're going to mix this until it's slightly crumbly. So our cinnamon topping crumble is ready. We're going to go ahead and spread this on top of our cake. When we spread this on our cake, we don't have to be perfect. Just randomly sprinkle it around. Try to cover as much area as you can, but it doesn't have to be perfect. Once you have spread the cinnamon crumble, now it's time to bake the cake. We are going to bake this at 350 degrees Fahrenheit for about 30 to 35 minutes, or until when we insert a fork or a knife into it, it comes out clean. And into the oven it goes for about 35 minutes. While the cake is baking, let's go ahead and make our icing drizzle. We're going to take our 1/4 cup of powdered sugar, and to this we're going to add 2 tablespoons of milk and mix it to a nice flowy consistency. After mixing, if you realize that it has turned out dry, you can add a little bit more milk and make it into a flowing consistency. Once you mix this, the icing drizzle is ready. We're going to keep this aside and wait for our cake to finish baking. In about 35 minutes, we're going to take the cake out of the oven. Make sure to use a knife or a fork and pierce it while it's in the oven to make sure it comes out clean. That means the cake is ready. At this time, we are going to go ahead and drizzle our sugar drizzle on top. So there is no perfect way to do it. Just go ahead, use a spoon and drizzle while the cake is nice and hot. Once you have finished drizzling the sugar and milk drizzle on top of the cake, we're going to let the cake sit for 30 minutes to cool down before we can cut and serve it. The apple cinnamon cake is now ready to be enjoyed. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Do try this recipe and let me know how the cake turns out. You can always leave your feedback in the comments below. And like always, don't forget to like, share and subscribe to my channel. Thank you for watching.